if you ever are going to love yourself. You must love yourself more than you love anybody else in order to properly love someone else. Listen to that again. You must love yourself unconditionally before you will ever be able to love someone else. To say you love me and don't love you, I can't take you seriously. Peace and blessings. Welcome to the Healing Divination podcast. I am your host, Fumi Laye, and today I want to explore self-love with you. Love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. Suddenly, you are not desperate for love, approval, or validation. That's a quote from Mandy Hale. See, people have been talking about self-love for a long time. There's millions of quotes like that. Even the Buddha said you cannot be a tree and bear fruit in the winter. Love yourself first, and then you can love others. And we throw around the term self-love so much that it loses some of its power. It's like constantly saying, I love you. After a while, the words are just words, and you must put an action behind it to reinforce it. And that's the same thing with self-love. It's one thing to say, I love myself, but do your actions support that claim? Yes, you can go to the gym every day. You can eat healthy. You can wear the finest clothes. You can put on tons of makeup and have the longest eyelashes, and you can do all these things. But does it equate to self-love? What does it mean to truly love oneself? It's one thing to decorate oneself, but to truly love oneself, what does that look like? I think if you're going to explore this, one of the key functions of loving yourself first and foremost is embracing who you are. Who you are, not the personas that you put on as you go to work, as you go to play, as you go to deal with your day-to-day. Not the lies that you have told yourself about yourself, or the lies that have been told to you about yourself. See, embracing yourself and loving yourself means that you must first accept yourself, to be comfortable with yourself, to walk past the mirror and know that the reflection that is looking back at you is one of immense beauty and power. That you are flawless in your creation for what you came here to do. Now, that means you may not be suited for somebody else's role, but for what you came to this planet to do, you are fully equipped. Everything from the way you feel to the way you look, to the way you sound, to your little nuances and little caveats and little quirk. All these things are the embodiment of you, a formula, so to say. And coming to a point where you can love all those little things about yourself is the first step to truly embracing who you are. When I can look in the mirror and I haven't shaved in 3 days, and maybe I'm a little puffy from all my carbs, and maybe I didn't work out like I was supposed to this week, and to see past these things, to look and see that I am merely soul experiencing life. There's so much to love when you look at yourself from that perspective. And when you can love yourself and you can love these little flaws and these little things that you have been told are flaws, and you recognize that everything you are is geared to get you to where you're supposed to be. Everything about you serves a purpose to help you discover who you are. So let's just say, for instance, we love ourselves. We looked in the mirror, we look good, we feel good. Yeah, we got some quirks. I got a lisp. Nobody's perfect, but you okay with that. You can deal with that. That would lead us to our next thing, and that would be to treat yourself with compassion and understanding, to show yourself love. And this is very difficult for most people. And this is how you know that when people talk about loving themselves, when it comes to this one step, you will find a lot of kinks in their armor. Because to love yourself is to embrace yourself, but it is also about showing compassion and understanding to oneself. And we are so hard on ourselves as a human race. And I'm not talking about just black and white and Spanish. As a human race, Individually, we are our own worst critics. So much of the decisions people make are driven on how it will impact someone else. I will wear my hair this way so that these people will look at me. I wear this makeup so these people will look at me. I drive this car so the girls will look at me. I wear this, so much of it. And then on top of that, when it doesn't happen, then we attack ourselves. And we just didn't do enough. I was not pretty enough today. I was not handsome enough today. I was not lucky enough today. And all these lies we tell ourselves just continue to build until we go to extremes to look better, to have more. So now we commit crimes to get money. We alter our body, our God given body, to look like a cartoon. The other day, I'm on TikTok and I literally watched a woman peel her entire face off, makeup and all. Makeup and all. What type of pain and suffering did you endure that you would literally put a mask on to go out into the world, only to have to peel it off? There's no love in that. There's no self-love in that. And the irony of it all is when she peeled it off, she was still beautiful. She didn't need it. She was beautiful. The makeup just made her look a few shades lighter and like a wax figure, but when she peeled it off, I saw a beautiful black woman. And it just makes me wonder, like, why do that? Which leads us to our next thing about honoring your boundaries and setting limits. You have to draw a line in the sand if you love yourself. And it's this part of the spiritual journey is where people lose their friends. You know, there's a couple of steps in the spiritual evolution where people drop off. And one of those is when you start to set your boundaries. The other one is when you start to hear the conversations that you've been having from a different perspective and you long for a deeper, more meaningful conversation with someone, and you start to look at your friends around you and you can't find it. So then those people start to fall off. But one of the number one reasons is when you start putting up those boundaries and you start to tell yourself that I won't fold for anybody. That's when you lose people. But if you ever are going to love yourself, you must love yourself more than you love anybody else in order to properly love someone else. Listen to that again. You must love yourself unconditionally before you will ever be able to love someone else. To say you love me and don't love you, I can't take you seriously. You can't tell me you love me and the things you do to yourself don't represent love. So before you even open up that app and start swiping left to right, before you even go out on that date, before you even go buy all those beauty products and step out into the club, before you do all that, if you do not love you, you will not find, you will find the level of love that you give to yourself. So if you don't feel like you're beautiful, you will find a love that reinforces that by treating you ugly. If you don't believe you are powerful, you will find a love that will drain you of what power you have left and overpower you. We've been told since early age that if you say no or if you act selfish, you're a bad kid. You're selfish. You're self-centered. Can't learn how to love yourself and appreciate yourself and know yourself while everybody is around you telling you about yourself or deciding who you should be. It is in those moments where you can be by yourself alone, that you can sit down and close your eyes and feel what it feels like to be you, to look at the things that you consider flaws about yourself and start to see the beauty in them, how they add character, how they represent growth. My scars are my reminder that I fought to be better than who they said I could be, that I could find something deeper, a deeper, richer meaning to my existence rather than I just showed up. Once you got your boundaries in place, now I just got to take care of myself. My physical, my emotional, my mental, my spiritual. You start to change why you do things. I'm not working out to look sexy. I'm working out because this is my temple and I want it to be healthy. And I want it to be strong because it's mine, not because of how I want people to view it or the opinions of others, but simply because it is mine and I want it to be beautiful to me. You are taking care of yourself emotionally because you also understand that some of these emotions and feelings and thoughts that are popping up in your head are not yours. You are but a mere antenna picking up from the environment you are in, having energies that try to flow into your aura that match what you're feeling and what you're thinking about yourself. So to emotionally protect yourself goes back to loving what you see in the mirror, loving what it feels like to be you, to know that the stress and the strife of my neighbors and their neighbors and my cousins and my friends and the gossip and the bullshit, that all this stuff that everybody's bringing to my doorstep, that is not mine. And if I allow it in, it will damage my emotional health. So I will pick and choose what I do have energy for, and the rest you have to take. There are millions of ways to say I love you. The most important way is by first looking in the mirror every day and saying, I love you. Because if you can't love you, how do you love anything else? Self love is one of the hardest journeys to take because it involves you being responsible for you. Self love is a discovery I wish for everybody. I'm still on my own journey. There are days I wake up and I look in the mirror and then I feel this rush of questions, of doubts, of fear that are coming to see how much of my day can it steal. And I decide at that moment, I'm giving you none. I splash the water on my face, I brush my teeth, I blow myself a kiss, and then I walk out into the world. And not everybody that I meet is going to smile at me. They say, why is that big black guy smiling at me? It will be because I love me so much that I want anybody who walks past me feels an injection of love, if not for their fellow man, but at least for themselves. So if my smiling at you made you think, wow, he's crazy, why did he smile at me? But it made you think to yourself, man, maybe I might be looking good today. Then sister, run with it. If it picked your mood up, then run with it. Everybody's tripping over themselves, trying to get to a finish line that does not exist. I implore you to embrace you, love you, commit to you. These are the things that we're looking for in a relationship. We want somebody to love us. We want somebody to support us. We want somebody to commit to us. We want somebody to believe in us. We want somebody we can trust. But do you do those 5 things for yourself? Can you do those 5 things for yourself? Are you committed to yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you trust yourself? Can you do those things for yourself? Because if you could do it for yourself, you would change the way you look at other people and their role in your life. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to love me because you love you and you see the light in me, not because you don't know how to love yourself and you're hoping I will do that for you. That is a relationship that is doomed to fail because in order to love you more than I love myself, now I'm no longer loving myself. Now I am not myself. And now you have changed me into something I don't recognize. Why is this? Because I am not me anymore. But you are bulletproof if you love yourself first. You are bulletproof if you can put yourself first, if you set your boundaries, if you respect your flaws, if you making your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being a top priority, everything else bounces off of you. And no, it does not make you impervious to pain. You are going to have days where you doubt and you question. But when you know who you are, when you love who you are, you can forgive yourself on those days where I'm not feeling 100% perfect. And I can do that because I know in an hour or two, I may be feeling perfect again. So yeah, just give it a shot, man. Just give it a shot. Just show yourself some love. Pay attention to how you feel. Dream your dreams. Understand you must put your own mask on in this plane. You must put your own on first. You must heal you. You must heal you. Part of the beauty of self-love is all the healing that it induces. Healing of the thoughts you had about yourself, healing of your old traumas, healing of your old thought patterns, simply because you know that you are greater than those things. I want to thank you all for joining me and for taking a few moments to listen to this podcast. I hope that you find the message in it. It evokes a response in you that furthers your desire to know and love thyself, to be greater than you ever dreamed you could be, and to hold yourself accountable for your dreams. I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite tarot readers. While I am an Awovifa, I still have a deep appreciation for tarot and people who love tarot and are good at it. One such person is Lucky Thoughts. You can find her on YouTube. You can find her on TikTok. You can find her on Instagram. But she is probably one of the most intuitive tarot readers in the world that I've ever met. And I love the way she works. I love the way she speaks about the cards, the way she sees it, the way she puts the story together. It is just an incredible experience. So please go look her up. Lucky Thoughts on YouTube, on TikTok. Check her out. And you can find her information if you want to get a personal reading. But she is definitely someone you want to experience. Her logos will be at the top, and go look for that. But I love you all. Have a great day. Treat each other good. Peace.